So your bride or groom just told you that there are fireworks happening at their wedding, and now you're freaking out because you have no idea what to do and you have to get an awesome shot with fireworks in the background, right? Don't worry, I got you. I'm going to teach you exactly how we go about photographing fireworks at a wedding. Hey, I'm Josiah. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about wedding photography and running your photography business. And today I'm going to talk about photographing fireworks at weddings. They're nothing to freak out about, but the only scary thing is really that you have a short amount of time to get the shot right. And it comes down to a bit of luck as well with the right firework going off behind them. So I'm going to walk you guys through a few images from a few weddings where fireworks have happened and kind of break down what our lighting setup was, how we went about photographing it, and what you guys can do so that you have a game plan going into that wedding. All right, let's dive in. First thing I want to talk about is camera and lenses. I'm using the Sony a7 III, and for most of these shots, I think I used a 50mm, but if you guys want to, a good lens to use would be a 24-70. That way you have a lot of variety as far as being able to go wide or go in really, really tight. I just like my 50mm, and that's what I ended up sticking on. So using the 50mm with the Sony a7 III. As far as posing goes, we have them rotate between looking at each other, facing each other and looking at each other, and arms around each other watching the fireworks. We tell them to switch between those two poses, and that is all we do. It's really, really simple. You don't have to overcomplicate things. Your couple wants to watch their fireworks show, so make sure that you're not spending the entire time with them staring at each other. Have them rotate between facing each other, looking at each other, and then turning and watching the fireworks. Allow them to enjoy this moment because it's for them. Your photos are going to take the back seat. They are second to this moment. Let them enjoy the fireworks, all right? Flashes. We are using off-camera flash for this, but if you're intimidated by off-camera flash, you can always use a video light. That's what we use for one of these examples that I'll show you in just a minute. A video light totally works if you're intimidated by that off-camera flash, but off-camera flash will give a little bit more output power and will make your images likely pop a little bit more. We do use the Godox 8200s right now, and those flashes are amazing because the recycle time is just really, really fast, which is great when it comes to fireworks because, like I said, you don't have a lot of time to get the shot right, and the fireworks change so frequently. In each burst, it's going to be a completely different image. So I would suggest the 8200s. They're amazing, and you can get them for Canon, Nikon, Sony, all the major camera brands out there. We are using the MagMod MagSphere to soften light, and MagSphere is awesome because it just spreads light, diffuses the light instead of having a bare bulb kind of just shooting right at them, gets rid of some of those harsh shadows. So we do use the MagSphere. You can also use like a mag box or a soft box if you wanted to use that as well. Totally good. Have it off camera, and we typically put that flash or that light about 45 degrees away from our lens, away from where we're shooting, from camera left or camera right, doesn't matter. We kind of just make sure that it's 45 degrees. A lot of the times I end up, crouching down or getting a little bit low for these fireworks shots, and having a flash on camera shooting up at them would just make it look really, really strange. So have it off camera, have it up really high to get some really nice shadows underneath their chins, and you'll be good to go. One more thing with flash. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you're setting your ambient exposure. We try to expose for the first pop, that first firework that goes off. You don't want the fireworks to be overexposed or too bright. You want to make sure you still have that color. So expose for the ambient light in that firework, and then you're going to add your flash in, and you're going to adjust the power to taste and make sure that it looks right. And that's essentially what you're doing. My settings typically sit at 1/200 for my shutter speed, f2.8 to even f4 for aperture, and then my ISO varies depending on the situation, depending on the ambient light in the space, depending on how bright that firework is. So that's just a little tip there as far as flash and exposure goes. Let's dive into these images real quick, and we're going to start with Brooke and Dylan's wedding. This was a couple years ago in 2017, and this was actually the first time that we photographed fireworks. This is what happens when you don't expose for the ambient exposure, and this is also during the finale. So all the fireworks were going off in a single spot, and it was just like this nuclear bomb that was hitting. So the finale is not the time to take your best images. You want to get the single fireworks shot. All right. So let me break down kind of where our lights are at for this photo. So you have Brooke and Dylan, they are sharing a kiss. And what I want them to do is, like I said, rotate between looking at each other, sharing a kiss, and then watching the fireworks show. My flash is up here, pointing right down at them, okay? This is my flash, my really caveman-esque drawing of a flash. Pointing right at them, you can see that this shadow here is caused by that flash. So actually the flash is like 45 degrees to camera left, and that's where the flash was, pointing right at them. And honestly, I think that one of these fireworks here is actually fake. It's from another photo that I took, and I just kind of merged it in. That's the cool thing about these fireworks, is that you don't have to get it right in a single frame. You can always cut them out and paste them into a new image in Photoshop, and it's really easy because it's just on a black background. All you got to use is the the lasso tool or something, draw a circle around it, copy paste into the new image, and you're good to go. I chose to shoot this vertically because of where we were located for the fireworks, for their portraits, where the fireworks were, they were very close. And so portrait was really the only way to get all of this, fireworks and them in the photo. And so you might just have to kind of figure out where to place them to get a nice vertical image. If you wanted to go vertical, or if you wanted to go horizontal, just figure out where you're going to put them before the fireworks actually happen. Okay. We did not realize that the fireworks were going to go off this close to them. So yes, that is Brooke and Dylan's first image. Again, flash 45 degrees to camera left, to their left, and it's causing this nice shadow down there, and they're exposed. They pop off the frame, and they don't just fall into blackness in the background. So that is our first wedding with fireworks. Let's move on to our second wedding. So we were thrown a little curveball for our second wedding. The fireworks that happened also happened at the same time cake cutting happened. So we had to shoot both of the fireworks and cake cutting at the same time. Very cool, but it is a little bit of an added pressure there. So we just had them cut the cake like normal. All right, we essentially ignored the fireworks, still exposed for the ambient light in the space, still exposed to that fireworks, but we didn't pose them in any way. We just told them to cut the cake, do their thing, and we just shot what was happening. So really cool photo with the fireworks going off in the background. Sam and Lexi here are cutting their cake, and again, the flash 45 degrees from camera, pointing right at them with the mag sphere on there, okay? And you can see the shadows here against the tablecloth, and that's what the flash is over here. So make sure, if you can, try not to have it directly pointing right at them. You're gonna come away with a flat image. So if you can have it 45 degrees to the left or right, that's perfect. I'm going to keep reiterating that because it is important to have some depth and shadow in your images. You can see here that there's actually some shrubs here, so I couldn't go that far. So I had to, it's probably not even 45 degrees. It's probably only like 20 degrees to my left. So the further we can go, the more shadows you're going to have. So create some depth in your images, all right? So the fireworks are going off there. Let me move on to another image here real quick. After they were done their cake cutting, we had them kiss, which was really nice, and we got really lucky with this firework display, right? And we just kind of, that's what it's about. It's just shooting, and you're just gonna get lucky. Take a whole bunch of images, you're gonna get lucky, and thankfully we did with this photo here. And same thing with this one. Again, I am not using on-camera flash. If I was using on-camera flash here, what would happen is this whole area down here would be completely exposed because my flash on camera would have lit all of this grass up, grass up. So instead, I think somebody is holding our flash, again, way up, 45-degree angle, pointed right at them, and it's causing a really, really nice soft light on them, and you can see the shadow on her back here. If this was straight on from my camera, this whole thing would be lit up. Nothing would be in shadow. Everything would be really, really flat, and all the grass would be exposed as well. So create the depth, have it 45 degrees. You guys hate me for saying this 4 million times already, I'm sure, but do it. Please do it. Don't put flash on your camera. And then we have these really nice pops of fireworks going off in the back, and I wanted to make sure that we got a horizontal image here because this fireworks display was much wider than Brooke and Dylan's. Brooke and Dylan's was very vertically focused. This one really spread itself out across the sky. So I wanted to make sure that we got a horizontal image from their fireworks display. Let's move on to the last wedding we did with fireworks, which was actually not too long ago. And we didn't play it that safe in this one. We played it safe the other 2 times, but this time we didn't play it that safe. And let me explain what I mean by that. So Jackie and Scott's wedding, they had fireworks again. And instead of using flash, we used a video light. We were doing photo and video this day. And so our videographer needed to be able to see the couple. So we set up a video light again, where 45 degrees from the camera. All right. So that is off there, and you can see again the depth and shadows that video light is causing. Okay. Right on her back here, you're seeing all of this shadow. All of this shadow is caused by the video light being 45-degree angle from the camera. All right. And again, we had them pose, arms around each other, looking right at the fireworks display. That way they could watch their fireworks, show that they paid money for. And that was it. That was simple. Played it safe for that image, okay? We got the safe image there. Then what we wanted to do was we wanted to try to silhouette them. And we tried this in 2 different ways. The first way was without any flash, all right? No flash is used here. This is just ambient exposure, exposed for the fireworks. And I think in Lightroom I probably toned down the highlights of the fireworks here, but we just placed their heads right in the center of a big pop, and I just waited for a few fireworks to go off to find the right one, and this was the one. And I wish I was able to fill the frame a little bit more. I think probably an 85mm would have looked awesome for this image, or if I even just moved in a little bit closer. I needed the fireworks to be much larger, right? I wanted it to fill the entire space. It would have been really awesome if it came all the way out to like here. But for now, this is, I mean, the first time we tried the silhouette. Next time we try it, I think we'll get it even better. But I really love the way this image turned out overall. So we tried it without any flash, the silhouette with no flash, and we did try it with some off-camera flash. So for this image, we essentially put a flash behind them, pointed up at them a little bit. Okay, you can see the light underneath her chin and on her hair. And we added a purple gel to the flash to separate them from the background and to separate them from the fireworks. I think in hindsight, I probably would have used like a red gel if we had it, but I don't think that we had a red gel with us. But I would have used a red gel to motivate the light coming from these fireworks. That's the one thing I wish I could change about this. And we used a colored gel instead of a white gel, or instead of like a bare bulb flash, just because we didn't want the white. We wanted a color. We wanted them to pop a little bit. And fireworks are so colorful anyway that we wanted to make sure that they were matching in that intensity of color. And so that's what we did. And again, we're still exposing for the ambient exposure of those fireworks. And we just added a little pop of flash for their silhouette, having them look at each other. And what is really important about this image too is if you guys decide to do a silhouette shot, this goes for all silhouette shots really, is that you want to make sure that their noses are not touching. Have a little bit of separation. This was a mistake we used to make early on. And if they are touching noses, they just become one big blob of darkness, okay? You want to make sure that there's clear profile, clear distinction of facial features. And that's about it. Off-camera flash, all right, or an off-camera video light if flash intimidates you. Make sure that your posing is really, really simple. Tell them to switch between looking at the fireworks and turning and facing each other, looking at each other. If you're doing silhouettes, keep those noses apart. You can keep them close, but keep them separate, okay? And lastly, have fun, okay? This is time to experiment, time to have fun, get some epic shots, and just get creative with it, okay? It's a lot of fun, but there is a time limit, so make sure you have a game plan going in. Ask the couple where the fireworks happen, talk to the coordinator at the venue, figure out where they're gonna go off, how long the show is gonna be, and that's about it. You can even check out some blogs from other photographers who might have shot fireworks at that location. The one thing I don't advise you to do is to just don't crank your ISO. Please don't try to use your ISO as your safety net to just crank, because you're gonna get a really grainy image, because the fireworks actually don't give off that much light, okay? It's gonna come out grainy, it's gonna come out noisy, it's not gonna look clean, and I highly recommend you use some kind of off-camera video light or off-camera flash. So that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this was helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe as well for other helpful wedding photography videos coming out soon. All right, thanks so much again, and take care.